In the early stage of the zombie outbreak, just me and a cat, hid in the meticulously modified RV. The RV was stocked with supplies I had stored in advance. This time I must survive until the end. Suddenly opened my eyes wide. In front of me was the familiar interior of the RV. I quickly took out my phone to check the time. 9 a.m., May 20th, 2025. I have been reborn. Back to 3 hours before the zombie outbreak. The day of the zombie outbreak in my previous life. My half-sister, Meng Qingyu, teamed up with fiancé Gu Jinchen, used milk laced with sleeping pills to knock me out, then stole the RV I painstakingly remodeled. Left me alone to fend for myself. I struggled in the apocalypse for 3 years, ultimately couldn't escape the zombie attack, while they drove my RV, without any worries about food or drink, living quite comfortably. At this moment, the RV is parked in the villa's back garden. I got off the RV and headed straight inside. As soon as I entered the living room, one immediately saw a family of 4 happily chatting and laughing. Seeing me come in, the atmosphere immediately became a bit tense. 4 pairs of eyes simultaneously turned towards me, with complex expressions. Sister, Gu Jinchen and I just got back from getting our marriage certificate. You should come and have some wedding candies too. Meng Qingyu looked at me with a smug face. Hearing this, I secretly gritted my teeth. Gu Jinchen was originally my fiancé. He was the person I liked throughout my youth. I don't know when the two of them got together. Now they have the nerve to smile and invite me to eat wedding candies. I didn't argue with them loudly like in my past life. The urgent task is to drive away and quickly purchase supplies. The reason I came back here is just to take away my horse, Snow. I held Snow in my arms and walked out. Go, 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 never home all day. Once you leave, don't come back. Meng Hanyuan saw that I seemed indifferent. A surge of anger rose in his heart. Rest assured, I definitely won't come back. You all take care of yourselves. From now on, I don't have a daughter like you. Meng Hanyuan pointed at my departing figure and cursed loudly. Meng Qingyu on the side was full of pride. Finally drove Meng. That annoying show went out. From now on, everything in the Meng family is his. The property is his. The man is also his. When I drove to the nearest largest mall, it was already 9:28 a.m. 2 hours and 32 minutes until the zombie outbreak. Time is pressing. I pushed a small cart and ran wildly in the supermarket, attracting the attention of quite a few employees. I went to the fresh food section to get 10 pounds of lamb, 10 pounds of beef, 10 pounds of pork, 10 pounds of chicken, 10 pounds of fish and shrimp. It's not that I don't want to buy more, but the RV's refrigerator can only hold 50 pounds of meat. Then I went to the Milyang area, loaded 10 bags of flour, 10 barrels of oil, 50 bags of table salt. Finally, I went to the seasoning area, took some from the shelves until the shopping cart was full. I pushed the shopping cart to the checkout, then pushed an empty shopping cart again, rushed into the supermarket again. This time I bought various vegetables and fruits, and some daily necessities. Before leaving, I asked the attendant to go to the warehouse to bring me 35 barrels of drinking water. Arrived at the checkout area. The purchased goods were all scanned. Swiped the card to pay. This is a male manager. Very politely said to me, "Beautiful lady, may I ask where you want it delivered? I'll have the staff help you deliver it." I pointed outside. There's a pink RV at the door. Sorry to trouble you. Quickly, several staff members got busy, continuously loading things onto the RV. When everything was settled, I glanced at my phone. 1 hour left until the zombie outbreak. I quickly entered a pharmacy, not caring what it was. I cleared the shelves of medicine. The clerk stood by, wanting to speak but hesitating. Finally couldn't help but speak. "Miss, we have a rule, not to allow buying so much medicine at once." I turned to look at him, said I'll pay 10 times the price. I need to take it now. Can you sell it? If not, I'll ask elsewhere. The salesperson looked shocked, head uncontrollably nodding. Sell, sell, sell. Miss, feel free to take whatever you like. I placed several full baskets of medicine on the glass counter. Then I took out my phone and scanned 500,000. Told the salesperson to quickly pack them. The salesperson looked at the medicine piled in the baskets. Not even 100,000 is needed. He immediately started packing. Leaving the pharmacy, I went to the clothing store next door to buy some clothes. Finally went to the pet store. Bought 50 pounds of cat food for Tatuite and some deworming medicine. When I got back to the car, it was already 11:58. I locked the car door, ready to face the apocalypse. Just at that moment, a piercing scream sounded outside the RV. I saw a mutated male zombie on the street. Opening its big mouth, it lunged at the woman beside it. The woman struggled a bit and quickly lost her breath, but in the blink of an eye, it dragged its bloody, broken body and lunged at another passerby. People on the street scattered and ran. Screams were constant. The whole city was in chaos. I coldly watched this scene through the window. In a past life, I was also chased by zombies. It's a young man. He rushed out from the supermarket heading straight for the RV. I know him. He's the one who just helped me load the car. Water, that young man. He ran to the RV and frantically pounded on the door. In his eyes, it seemed like he saw hope. Inside the RV, I looked at him through the window with an expressionless face, completely unmoved. The young man looked incredulous. He couldn't understand why I wouldn't help. Quickly, several zombies lunged at him from behind. Sharp teeth greedily gnawed at his body. I turned away to avoid the bloody scene. In the apocalypse, morality and kindness only lead to a quicker death. I held T2 in my arms. This is what I care about, already by my side. The life and death of others is none of my concern. Outside the RV, the young man's eyes had turned gray. He had turned into a zombie. Instinctively, he continued to pound on the car door, making the car door rattle loudly. This noise made me increasingly irritated. I quickly stepped into the compartment. I rummaged for a wind shovel, then opened the window, leaned out and swung at the zombie with all my might. Without a sound, the zombie's head fell to the ground. Seeing this, I withdrew the factory, getting ready to wash off the blood in the bathroom. Suddenly, a mechanical sound ding-dong echoed in my mind. RV system binding, killed a zombie. Newbie reward. RV permanently immune to all damage task. Submit a gold box. Can expand by 1 cubic meter. I widened my eyes in shock. No wonder. In the past life, Meng Qingyu and the others lived so well. Turns out they acquired the RV system. At this moment in front of me, a virtual RV interior perspective appeared, showing expandable areas. I was instantly dumbfounded, because any storage space, all can be expanded, so in the future, wouldn't it be possible to collect a lot of supplies? It's truly a walking energy bank. But when I thought about the expansion conditions, I couldn't help but stop smiling. 1 jin can expand 1 cubic meter. You have to know that at the beginning of the apocalypse, killing 100 zombies might not even yield 1 jin. But on the other hand, expanding 1 more cubic meter means 1 more cubic meter of supplies. For me, it's an additional guarantee. The urgent task is to find a way to get the essence and follow. As time goes by, there are more and more zombies on the streets. Some zombies are attracted by the smell of blood. They crash into the RV, trying to pull me out to eat. But this time I didn't hear any sound. As long as the windows are closed, it will be very quiet inside the car. I got excited. Immune to all harm. Is it really that powerful? It can also block out noise. Doesn't that mean this RV is indestructible? It can be called a perfect fortress. Thinking about this, my mood improved. Humming a little tune, went to the bathroom to wash off the blood from the factory. Trading Snow squatted on the coffee table, tilting its head, staring at me with big, bewildered eyes. Coming out of the bathroom, I patted its head and said, "You will eat your fill. Let's go out and kill zombies." Trading Snow shook its head disdainfully, a bit angry, whimpering softly, "This sound is super cute." I came to the cabinet, cooked some fresh prawns just bought at the mall for Trading Snow. Trading Snow jumped over at the sight of delicious food, staring with round eyes full of desire, while I munched on fried chicken and drank beer. The feeling of happiness was overwhelming. Meow. Trading Snow nearby protested for not getting any delicacies. 5 minutes later, I served the cooked prawns, placed them in front of Trading Snow. Trading Snow gobbled them up, making happy purring sounds. I sat on the sofa, eating grilled lamb and sipping small beer, eating fried chicken and drinking cold beverage. Very relaxed. Outside the RV, a large crowd was fleeing frantically. They were wearing the same uniform. They must be colleagues going to work together. Just someone with sharp eyes looked through the car window, saw the scene inside the RV. He was so shocked his eyes almost popped out. Bedroom. Unexpectedly, someone could stay calm inside the RV, watching TV, drinking beer, and devouring skewers. This person immediately had a bright idea. Quickly shouted to the car, "Let's quickly hide in the car." The group hurriedly ran towards the roadside parking lot, but before they could reach it, they saw a zombie in a suit not far away, punching and shattering the car window, biting the driver's head. A few people trembled. It's not safe in the car either. What should we do? Hiding in the car won't work. We need to hide in the house. Zombies can't get in, one of them shouted. A few people ran back into the mall, passing by the RV. They saw I was already eating lobster. They couldn't help but start to doubt. Could it be that I'm not in the same world as them? After eating and drinking to my fill, I noticed there didn't seem to be any zombies surrounding the RV. Logically speaking, zombies rely on human scent and movement to identify positions and attack. Could the RV isolate the scent? I hesitantly opened the window next to the sofa. Instantly, a zombie turned its head. With stiff movements lunged at me. Frightened, I quickly shut the window, and that zombie seemed to lose its target. Confused for a moment, continued to search for other prey. I understand. Closing the windows can block its smell. Once opened, it will still be detected by zombies. It's now past 2 p.m. Those who can hide have already hidden. Those who didn't hide in time are now zombies. I roughly estimate there are hundreds of zombies on the streets. Many more are wandering in the mall. If we kill them all, with luck, we might get a few gold boxes. The system just notified. My RV can permanently be immune to all damage. Then the damage from collisions should also be immune. Thinking of this, I felt a thrill. Since zombies can't be killed off completely, then just drive straight into them. I went to the cockpit and started the vehicle. The next second, we hit the gas and charged at the zombies, but I'm not foolish enough to charge into places with many zombies, but instead circle around the edges, specifically targeting lone zombies to hit. As long as their heads are crushed, the zombies will be completely dead under the crushing wheels. The large street becomes a bloody mess. Some people hiding through the window. See the scene below. Only feel their scalp tingle. Where did this amazing person come from? Turning zombies into a joke. This car is also amazing. Called for so long without even a dent. Meanwhile, the zombies in the mall heard the noise, also rushed to the street. I am not afraid at all. Driving the RV, fiercely counter-attacking wave after wave of zombies. 20 minutes later, the streets are filled with blood-red tire marks and various types of zombie corpses. Seeing the surrounding zombies have basically been almost wiped out by me. I slowly stopped the car, then picked up the tool and opened the car door. Yes, I need to go out and find Jin-hee. I gripped the tool tightly as I walked on the blood-stained street. Not far away, a zombie that wasn't fully dead was still crawling. I sliced the zombie's head like cutting a watermelon into 2 halves. Seeing no Jin-hee, I immediately moved to the next one. The person hiding upstairs was already terrified by the scene. Seeing my actions made them even more scared. It was actually a girl. This action was too brutal. How can he be so calm? I focused on searching for Jin-hee. During that time, if any zombies rushed over, I will smash his head right in the palace. The act of killing is already ingrained in my bones. As long as it's not a horde of zombies, these lone zombies can't pose a threat to me. Threat. After a thorough search, I found 7 gold coins. The harvest isn't bad. Back to the RV. I can't wait to check the expanded space. The image of the RV slowly emerges. The storage space is clear. But how to allocate these 7 gold coins is a problem. The weather will gradually become extremely hot. Food and water sources are the most important. Medicines are also indispensable. At that time, the air conditioner in the RV will run continuously. Gasoline for the generator is also essential. After careful consideration, I decided to expand the medicine cabinet. Expand by 1 cubic meter of space. I clicked on the marked expand text on the perspective drawing. A page to select the quantity popped up instantly. 1 gold box can expand 1 cubic meter. Please make a choice. I decisively chose the quantity of 1 and clicked confirm. At this moment, the mechanical sound congratulated again. Expand 1 cubic meter of space. All space is permanently preserved. I was shocked. This means things won't spoil no matter how long they're kept. This function in the bedroom is truly amazing. I immediately looked towards the medicine cabinet, but I didn't notice any changes. I walked over and opened the medicine cabinet door. Inside, it was packed with medicine. There was no change at all. I was full of doubt. Immediately asked the system where my expanded space was. In the blink of an eye, a 3-dimensional space suddenly appeared next to the medicine cabinet. Very sci-fi. I hesitantly placed the medicine inside. I suddenly realized the medicine in the space can be controlled by consciousness to arrange and retrieve. I was excited. Placed the remaining gold and 2 expansion water tanks for expansion refrigerators. Everything is done. I went to the driver's seat to start the vehicle. The goal is to find a pharmacy. 10 minutes later, a pharmacy came into view. There were no zombies around the store. I parked the car close to the store, forming a sealed space to prevent zombies from getting in, then took the factory into the pharmacy. After confirming there were no zombies inside, I felt relieved. I took the mineral to the common medicine counter. No time to look closely at the price. Quickly stuffed it inside. During that time, Tatuite jumped out of the RV. Maybe too bored, meowing. I patted its head. Told it that it would be done soon. Tatuite rubbed against my arm. Its round eyes blinked. Very cute. After filling 2 boxes with medicine, I decided to return to the RV to see how much space was left, so I called Tatuite. Signaled it to follow. Tatuite tilted its head as if it understood. Happily chased after me. Jumped onto the RV. I stuffed the medicine into the space. Along with the previous ones, surprisingly, only used half the space, so I went back to get some more memory items and immune-boosting medicines. I went back and forth several times like this. Finally, I filled up the cabinet. Looking at the time, 2 hours had passed. but I didn't feel tired at all. During that time, I noticed, next to the pharmacy was a high-end outdoor gear store. I parked the car in front of the store, found the shutter door locked from the inside. There might be someone alive inside. I didn't want to miss any opportunity to gather equipment, so I got out of the car and walked to the door. Knocked hard a few times to open the door. I took some things as a reward. Give you some advice to survive. The man hiding inside is named Wei Yi. The loud knocking almost scared him to death. But hearing my words, he was moved. After some thought, I pulled up the rolling door. I walked briskly into the store. I glanced around. Then I said the first piece of advice: don't open the door carelessly. You might let in someone who could harm you. Hearing this, Wei stood there dumbfounded. His expression was complex and bewildered. Without waiting for him to speak, I asked again if there were any cold weather clothes. Wei nodded. He took out a thick set of cold weather clothes from the shelf. When he handed it to me, I didn't reach out to take it. Instead, I told him to put it on the ground and step back. Although Wei was puzzled, he still complied. I squatted down to check and confirmed there was no problem. Then I said to get another set. I'll transfer the money later. Wei didn't say anything. Quickly walked towards the warehouse. At this moment, I couldn't help but sigh inwardly. Now most people still haven't realized the cruel indifference. Otherwise, the first thing this man in front of me thought about must be how to kill me and take my RV. He quickly placed the second set of cold-proof clothing on the ground. Then impatiently asked what the second piece of advice was. The second piece of advice: find a place with plenty of food and wait patiently. Wait for rescue. The stomach also frowned. This disaster will last a long time, right? I didn't directly answer his question, because in my previous life until death, I couldn't wait for the day the disaster ended. I placed the 2 sets of cold-proof clothing on the passenger seat, then took some more raincoats, hiking shoes and windbreaker, windproof pants and other common items, until the storage under the sofa was completely filled. I stopped. After finishing, I took out my phone and transferred 100,000 to Mr. Wei, and advised him the third rule: trust no one. Do not show goodwill when necessary. Abandon morals to survive. With tearful eyes watching my departing figure, seemingly deep in thought, then clenched his fist and quickly followed. Hearing footsteps from behind, I immediately turned around and drew the dagger from my waist. Mr. Wei was also standing still, then showed a pleading expression. Please take me with you. I can help you carry things and fight zombies. I saw his sincerity and the survival instinct hidden in his eyes. But this is the apocalypse. Instead of gambling on whether he will betray, it's better to cut off all possibilities from the start. I quickly jumped into the car and closed the door. Then I hit the gas and drove away. Looking through the rearview mirror, I saw Wei Yi's expectant face turn into hatred. His fist clenched tightly again. By this time, it was already dark, but I still had to go to the supermarket to stock up on some supplies. I parked the RV at the supermarket to load goods. At the entrance of the unloading area, I observed the surroundings a bit. After confirming safety, I picked up the tools and prepared to get out. At this moment, Snow walked over slowly, tail raised, as if saying he wanted to go with me. I picked up Snow, placed him on the sofa, patted his head and said, wait for me obediently. It's dangerous outside. Snow cut me out once. Blinking big eyes, tilted its little head and laid down. Just walked into the passage, saw a vehicle carrying instant noodles parked beside, and snacks on the ground not far away. There were also boxes of fruits piled up. Probably haven't been sent to the warehouse yet. I am a drilling worker, walking in while being alert to the surroundings, to prevent zombies from rushing out from the corner. This time the goal is very clear. Meat food. I need to prepare some spices and pure water. A terrifying roar came from the corner ahead. Quickly a man in supermarket uniform, zombie rushed towards me. I turned to dodge, then swung the sword fiercely, chopping at the zombie's head. With a thud, the zombie fell heavily to the ground, and then there was no more reaction. But this noise attracted the attention of other zombies in the supermarket. Dozens of zombies simultaneously moved towards me. I gripped the sword tightly. In my heart, there was no fear of zombies, only a desire for spirit. I walked to the shelf, glanced at the shelf. If I could block the 2 shelves, leaving only a gap in the middle of the aisle, then kill one as they come, would be much easier and safer than dealing with dozens of zombies. Would be much easier and safer. But the shelves were stocked with alcohol. It's very heavy. I pulled a bit. Couldn't pull the knot. Let me help you. Suddenly a girl appeared next to me. It's the waitress Lin Xin who helped me load goods last time. I won't take you away. I shook the shelf forcefully. The liquor on it spilled all over the floor. Then I used both hands to pull the shelf towards the aisle. 3 years in the bedroom. I've seen all kinds of human nature. I can see through what this little girl is thinking at a glance. Lin Qian's eyes were filled with tears. Pulling the shelf, the zombies were getting closer. He was trembling with fear. He could only hope I would change my mind. We quickly placed the shelf in position. blocking the aisle, leaving only a 1-meter wide gap. Dozens of zombies lunged forward with choked throats, almost knocked over the shelf. Ling stepped back 2 steps, trembling. But his gaze occasionally glanced at the RV outside the corridor. Some thoughts were running through his mind. I reached out in front of the gap, taking down each one. By the way, check if there are any crystal cores inside. During that time, I glanced at Ling Xian. His little thoughts had long been seen through by me. Without turning my head, I said the RV can't be driven away. Outside is full of zombies. If you want to survive, find a place to stock up on food and water. Wait for rescue. Ling Xian watched me chop zombies like chopping watermelons. Knowing that I'm not easy to mess with, he also gave up that idea. 20 minutes later, I rummaged through the pile of corpses and found a transparent crystal. Even though there's only one, but it's better than nothing. Ling Xian beside me looked at me covered in blood, with a smile on my face. Just felt the scene was horrifying and terrifying. He now has only one thought in his mind, which is to leave quickly. Otherwise, there won't be a good outcome. Lin Chen listened to me. He found an office inside the supermarket. Frantically moved supplies inside. He was right not to choose to hide in the warehouse, because the supplies in the warehouse will become the target of many people. Meanwhile, I had already entered the supermarket and successively dealt with 3 stray zombies. Then I sealed the other entrances of the supermarket to prevent zombies from other places from breaking in. After doing these, I pulled a shopping cart. The urgent task is to start collecting supplies immediately. I first went to the deli section. Marinated food and groceries are my favorites. I filled a cart full. I pushed the shopping cart back, just walked into the aisle, and saw a few men in supermarket uniforms prying open the side door of my RV. Snow through the car window, bared its teeth angrily at them. One man's wrench was bent. The RV door remained unmoved. They were extremely frustrated. Hit the door handle hard a few times, but didn't even chip the paint. Another man was even more desperate. Hit the glass several times, without leaving a mark. Everyone was astonished. Even if this RV were made of steel, it should have left some marks, yet it was unscathed. Someone said, "I'll go get a cutter." I don't believe this. He just turned around and saw me standing not far away with the shopping cart, staring coldly at them. The man pretended to be calm and asked if you were the car owner. "It's dangerous for a young girl to be outside alone. Take us with you. We will protect you." The others were relieved to see it was just one girl. Just a girl. The RV is secure. I let out a cold laugh, told them to leave my RV immediately. Otherwise, face the consequences. At this moment, a man in a security uniform pointed at the shopping cart behind me and asked, "Did you pay for the items? I suspect you of stealing from the supermarket. You'd better open the RV door now. Let us check." The man looked very smug, seemed to think these words had me cornered. A hint of sarcasm flashed in my eyes. Truly foolish and greedy. The next second, the sharp edge of the light sliced through the man's throat. Red liquid spurted out. The man fell to the ground with a thud. He had killed. He actually dared to kill. The remaining people backed away in fear. All indifferent. What does killing count as? If you don't leave, stay here with him. Lin Yanya shivered in fear, turned and ran into the supermarket, watching them flee in panic. I sighed silently. Currently, the zombies in the supermarket have been cleared by me. And there's plenty to eat and drink. Nothing is lacking. Just need to wait for the rescue team to find this place. Take them to the base. It's fine. Clearly can live well. Insisting on coming here to seek death. I opened the rear car door, moved all the supplies from the cart into the RV. Everything done. I got into the car and closed the door, and locked the car door. Snow jumped into my arms feeling wronged, rubbing its head against me. I patted its head and reassured it that I'm here. "No one can hurt you." Then took out a big chicken leg from the bag, placed it on its plate. Snow smelled the aroma and licked its lips, ate very contentedly. I opened the refrigerator. First put the fruits and vegetables into the expanded space, then stuffed the cart items in. Next, used my mind to push into the space. At this moment I realized so many things. Putting it in only occupied a corner of the space. I didn't expect 1 cubic meter to hold so much. I calculated, to fill it up, I need to make 5 or 6 more trips. So, I thought of unloading with a hand cart in the corridor. That cart can carry quite a lot of things. Just as I was about to get off the vehicle, I felt my pant leg being tugged. I turned my head to look. Snowy wagged its tail and stared blankly at me, holding onto my coat hem and refusing to let go. I laughed and said, "Sister needs to gather supplies, so that we can live better in the future." Snowy whimpered and still wouldn't let go. Seeing this, I squatted down and asked, "Do you want to come with me?" Snowy blinked its eyes, jumped right into my arms, returned to the corridor. I found some plastic baskets and placed them on the cart. Then I took Tatuite with me, pulled the cart into the supermarket. The survivors in the supermarket looked at me in fear. all hid away. Obviously, the news from outside had spread. I couldn't be bothered with them. Stockpiling supplies is what I needed to do. First, I went to the deli section, packed up various marinated foods, also grabbed a lot of mixed dishes. Next to it were fried dough sticks, pancake sushi, can't miss the rice dumplings. I took a bit of everything. DucHa sat on the cart watching me, not running around, very obedient and well-behaved. When passing the dessert section, I stopped. The exquisite and beautiful cakes. Just looking at them was very tempting. Take it all away. This is something I absolutely cannot neglect. After finishing the dessert, I pulled the fully loaded cart back to the RV. At this moment, beside the security guard's corpse, 2 zombies were eagerly gnawing at his entrails, surely attracted by the smell of blood. Hearing the noise, the zombie suddenly raised its head. With a bloody wide-open mouth, it lunged at me. I picked up the sword, skillfully split the heads of the 2 zombies. The action was clean and decisive. Back to the car. I continued to stuff things into the fridge. This repetitive action just made me bored. If only I had spatial abilities. Could directly store it in space. Wouldn't need to be so troublesome. Load it onto the car and then into the fridge. I just sighed a little. Compared to my previous life, I am now very lucky. Soon all the cooked food was stuffed in. Just enough to fill 1 cubic meter. There are many desserts. After filling 1 cubic meter, there were still some left. I put it on the cabinet to eat slowly later. Then I switched to the RV's perspective view, gave the gold box I just found to the 2nd floor, upgraded the 1 cubic meter space. Next is to constantly go back and forth between the supermarket and the RV, constantly moving, constantly stocking up. Snow followed me but couldn't help, mainly for companionship. Survivors in the supermarket found me coming and going freely. Very safe. All ran out to find food. It's just that they're all far away from me. Maybe they're afraid I'll shovel their heads off. A few women gathered together, whispering, "He's been moving things for several hours. Can the RV fit it all?" I guess the RV is packed full inside. I'm afraid there won't be room to step. By the time we finished, it was already midnight. Looking at it, it's full. The RV gives me a rare sense of stability and satisfaction. In the 1 cubic meter expanded space on the 2nd floor, it's packed full of rice. There are as much as 1,600 gin. Eating 1 gin a day is enough for years. Full of a sense of security. In the other spaces on the 2nd floor, there are 500 gin of flour and 50 barrels of cooking oil, along with various seasonings. The 4 cubic meter expanded space of the fridge, besides 1 cubic meter of cooked food and 1 cubic meter of desserts, also loaded with 1 cubic meter of meat and 1 cubic meter of seafood, adding up to nearly 4,000 gin. 2 expanded cubic meters of purified water tanks, also filled with mineral water by me. Of course, drinks are indispensable. Next to the cabinet are the small sodas I like to drink. At this moment, I didn't feel sleepy at all, and comfortably started eating hot pot. The small pot on the induction cooker was bubbling. Meat slices and balls rolling in the spicy soup. Looked very tempting. Around were vegetables and meat slices for hot pot, along with a 6-inch fruit cake. I took a sip of the frosty soda. A sense of satisfaction swept over my whole body. Next to me was Trading Snow. The plate was full of fish and shrimp. He ate without lifting his head. Looked like he was enjoying it immensely. Everything in front of me. It made me feel a bit dreamy and relaxed. The hunger and pain from the apocalypse are still vivid. Now I have enough food to last for years, and my beloved DucHa is by my side. I take a bite of hot pot lamb, a sip of green plum wine, a bite of a small cake. I never thought happiness could be so simple and pure. After eating and drinking to my heart's content, I contentedly pat my belly, wash the dishes and take out the trash. Finally, take a nice hot shower and go to sleep. I put on my plush pajamas and get into bed. Lying in the soft blankets, I lift a corner of the blanket and call, "Baby, come to sleep." DucHa jumps beside me and obediently snuggles into the blanket. The little head poking out is so cute. I hug DucHa in the soft blankets. 1 person and 1 cat quickly fall asleep. When I open my eyes, it's already noon. I was woken up by Trading Snow. He was lying on my chest, pressing me so hard I couldn't breathe. I pushed Trading Snow off me, turned over and continued sleeping. Seeing this, Trading Snow got anxious. He really wanted to poop now, but I hadn't prepared a litter box for him. Trading Snow saw I was about to fall asleep. He came up with an idea, turned around and aimed his butt at my face. With a puff, let out a big stinky fart. Trading Snow, what did you eat? Why is the fart so smelly? I carried Trading Snow into the bathroom, placed him on the toilet. Trading Snow, having just made a mistake, didn't dare resist, clumsily stood on the edge of the toilet to poop. I quickly finished washing up, getting ready to go to the supermarket to find some breakfast. Just walked into the passage. I immediately noticed the snacks and fruits that were here yesterday are gone. It must have been divided by the survivors. I didn't care and continued walking inside. But what I didn't expect was the supermarket entrance was blocked by shelves and wooden boards. I laughed angrily. I helped them eliminate the zombie threat. They blocked me outside instead. What a group of bridge-burning people. Watch how I deal with you. I found a lot of cardboard boxes and some discarded wooden boards and piled them up at the entrance of the passage. Then I found a can of gasoline and poured it on. Let out a cold laugh, threw the windproof lighter in my hand over. The flames instantly ignited. The fire spread everywhere in the passage. At this moment, the survivors in the supermarket, upon seeing the flames, were all stunned. Why are you standing there stunned? There are drinks placed by the fire escape. Once it catches fire, we won't escape. Dozens of survivors in the supermarket immediately panicked, hurriedly went to find firefighting equipment. At the entrance of the passage, there were already broken bottles I had smashed earlier. Wine bottles. Thick black smoke spread everywhere. She stood in the corner at the edge of the supermarket, watching this group frantically putting out the fire, secretly cursing them as a bunch of idiots, knowing well that person is not easy to deal with. Why still provoke him? Really looking for trouble? Fortunately, the supermarket has comprehensive fire prevention measures with the cooperation of the survivors. Finally managed to put out the fire. A group of people sat on the ground, panting and covered in dirt. Someone complained discontentedly. I said it last night. Don't mess with that woman. She's a cold-blooded killer. Supermarket. What's the harm in letting her take some things from inside? It doesn't affect us at all. Shut up. If she dared to kill old Wang, she dared to kill us too. You'll regret it when the time comes. I agree, this woman is ruthless. It's best to find a way to drive her away quickly. Under the cave of Supervisor Zhang Kong, very quickly, gathered more than a dozen strong young men. At this moment, it started to rain heavily. I stood outside the passage in a black raincoat. Soon Zhang Kong led everyone to the entrance. They are holding something in their hands, seeing me again. Many people still can't help but shiver. Zhang Kong rolled up his sleeves, shouted loudly for everyone to charge. Catch him. Instantly, more than a dozen survivors rushed in, but before they could make a move, sharp weapons had already struck them. In just a moment, more than a dozen survivors were knocked down by me. Groans echoed everywhere. 3 years of the apocalypse have made me much stronger. These people are no match for me. I squatted beside Zhang Kong, looking at him with a very cold expression. You just said you wanted to catch me. Why catch me? Imprison me or beat me to death. I was wrong. I shouldn't have blocked you outside. I just want you to go somewhere else. Please let me go. I let out a cold laugh, now afraid. Why weren't you afraid earlier? Then I found a rope. Tied Zhang Qiang's hands and feet tightly along the escalator on the west side of the supermarket. I dragged Zhang Kong to the second floor. Zhang Qiang's face was full of terror, completely unaware of what I would do next. I dragged over a shelf, placed it right opposite the staircase entrance, then tied Zhang Kong in front of the shelf. Let him face the stairs. What are you doing? What do you want to do? Let me go. Zhang Kong was filled with fear. I ignored him. Instead, I found some shelf cabinets, blocked the not-so-large staircase entrance tightly, then found a shopping cart. Without looking back, he walked towards the tool room. When appearing, the shopping cart was full of tools. Zhang Kong was tightly tied to the shelf, wanting to cry but had no tears. This bewilderment is most saintly. I walked up to Zhang Kong, picked up a small jigsaw from the cart. There were also two chainsaws in the cart, used for cutting wood, boards, etc. Very useful upon seeing the situation. Zhang Kong started trembling uncontrollably, got up and begged me over and over. I silently rolled my eyes. Carrying the chainsaw, I walked towards the shelf at the escalator entrance. There was a loud noise beside me. The sound of the saw cutting through metal was sharp. The piercing sound drove people crazy. Zhang Kong seemed to guess what I was going to do. Completely went crazy. Such a loud noise, the zombies upstairs can definitely hear. Wait for them to rush the cabinet. You'll be bitten to death by zombies. I took one out from the shelf cabinet, only enough for one person to pass. After breaking through the last layer of the cabinet, the escalator is already crowded with zombies, all attracted by this big hole. I quickly retreated to get a bigger chainsaw, tied it tightly to the shelf with a rope, placed at a height of 1.5 meters. Zombies are rushing in through the hole. When passing by the chainsaw, the whole head was sawed off, blood sprayed all over Zhang Qiang's face. He had already guessed. This woman wanted him to be the bait. Zombies smelled the blood. Will keep coming this way, one after another rushing to their death. A simple trap makes killing zombies much easier. These are all experiences I summarized from my past life. Next, just need to wait for a while. Just clean up the dead zombies blocking the cave entrance. Zhang Qiang's miserable scream and the buzzing sound of fear echoed throughout the supermarket. Other survivors ran over to see what was happening, ended up with pale faces, A pile of zombie limbs piled up at the cave entrance. Blood splattered everywhere. The scene was very terrifying. I got up and went to the shelf. Threw the zombie limbs blocking the cave entrance aside. John Kong stopped screaming when he saw me coming. Initially, he wanted to plead with me, but then he saw me from the pile of corpses, pull out a zombie head, hold it in my arms, then suddenly exerted force and threw it to the ground. The round head instantly split into two halves. John Kong looked at me in horror. He didn't know why I did that. Then I continued to smash open more than a dozen heads, but no Jin appeared. At this moment, in a claw machine shop on the second floor opposite the supermarket, 2 men and 2 women were peeking through the slats of the blinds, secretly observing the situation outside. The girl with the bun quietly asked what was happening over there. The sound of a chainsaw mixed with screams. It made the listener's skin crawl. The guy with glasses beside her said without thinking, "No matter what, let's go over there and take a look. See if we can cover you to collect some supplies." Another girl excitedly said, "With you as the chosen girl, even in the apocalypse, we can live well." The girl with the bun was called the chosen girl, called Su Yuning. They originally went out with their boyfriends. Unexpectedly encountered a zombie outbreak. Swordsman not right. They immediately hid in a claw machine shop, barely escaped danger. At the same time, Su Yuning discovered he could freely enter and exit a space unseen by others. He then realized he had awakened a precious spatial ability in the apocalypse powers. At this moment, he was in a resource-rich mall. He ambitiously decided to do something big. The four quietly went downstairs to the street. Looking around, surprisingly, it was unusually calm, apart from a few zombies on the ground. The bodies circled around. Not a single living person was seen. They carefully walked towards the supermarket. As they passed by a corpse outside the supermarket, Su Yuning's boyfriend, Lin Hao, suddenly exclaimed, stopped in his tracks. The other 3 were startled, looked at him with puzzled expressions. Lin Hao crouched down, carefully examined the corpse's neck, said this man is not a zombie. He was killed by having his throat slit. Another guy with them, Zhao Yu, eyes widened a bit. Could it be that he was killed by someone? It's only been a few days since the apocalypse. Killing is still terrifying and horrifying to them. Li Hao was cautious to the point that the fact someone among us awakened space must absolutely not be known by others. Su Yuning's ability can only store goods, not attack. If discovered by others, it will surely be taken over. Controlling Su Yuning is equivalent to controlling space. This matter must be kept secret. The other 3 nodded solemnly. All realized the seriousness of the situation. Lin Hao and the other 3 followed the charred passage inside, quickly found the entrance to the supermarket. They sneaked in when no one was watching. Seeing the supermarket full of supplies, they were very excited, but they can't act yet. They have to wait until night when everyone is asleep to act. They hid in a place where no one was around, ate a little to fill their stomachs. Then, at Lin Hao's suggestion, slowly walked towards the sound of the chainsaw. Arrived at the second floor, Su Yuning and Liang Ying turned pale with fright, held each other tightly. The 2 boys didn't look much better. Lips are pale. Body is stiff. Not far away, corpses piled up like a small mountain. Shattered skulls everywhere. Next to it is a woman in a black raincoat, searching for something in the skulls. The chainsaw at the cave entrance is still buzzing. Zombies keep rushing out from the cave entrance, chopped into 3 pieces, and the man tied at the cave entrance, it's unclear if he's dead or alive, is no longer moving. Su Yuning hoarsely said, I just thought before. Maybe humans are using chainsaws to fight zombies. Didn't expect it to be such a scene. Too terrifying, too bloody. Lin Hao beside him was full of shock. Zombie trap. This is actually a trap to deal with zombies. Then, he said with a serious face that we must be wary of this woman. She will definitely become our biggest threat in the future. Busy all day. I only found 3 Jina coins. Luck wasn't very good, so I decided to find the warehouse first. Get some food for treading snow and myself to fill our stomachs. I walked to Zhang Qiang's side, used a small knife to cut the rope tied on him. Said that today we'll stop here. You go back and rest a bit. Tomorrow we continue. Zhang Kong collapsed to the ground. Now he only has one thought. Quickly leave this hellish place. Lin Hao was secretly observing. The 4 of them hid in the second floor bedding area. Saw me leave. Lin Hao whispered to the other 3. Wait until around 2 or 3 in the morning. Zhao Yu, you go pull the circuit breaker. Liang Yin and I will coordinate with Yuning to collect supplies. Restore power after 10 minutes. Return here. No one will notice it was us. Another point. I followed the signs inside the supermarket. Quickly found the warehouse location. The warehouse is very large. Looking around, the shelves held various household items. Further inside is a cold storage, storing various vegetables, fruits, and meats. I found a cart. Various seen and unseen vegetables and fruits. All were washed, Before leaving, I stopped by the freezer in the cold storage, grabbed a lot of ice cream I like. After filling up to carts, I contentedly pulled them back. Return to the RV. I first gave Taizu some cat food. Taizu was starving, eating voraciously, completely ignoring me. I took out the 3 gold boxes I collected today, used them all to expand the fridge space, then stored the supplies I brought back one by one into the expanded space. Fruits and vegetables each took up 1 cubic meter. Ice cream took up less than half a cubic meter. Seeing the remaining space not fully stocked, my OCD was about to kick in, so I decided to pull the trailer to the nearby snack street to take a look. It was already very late. Looking up, I could see the twinkling stars in the night sky. In the shops on both sides, there were lights of varying brightness. On the road were scattered zombie corpses. I pulled the cart straight to the milk tea shop. In my previous life, I craved it so much, I casually entered a store to find the warehouse, moved all the stored raw materials out. As long as the stored raw materials are enough, in the future, I can make any drink I want. Then I wandered around the restaurant next door, took a portion from the kitchen, brought back a chicken claw crab dish pack as tonight's late-night snack. Now many chain restaurants to keep their recipes secret directly to jade cooking packs. Just need to heat it up. People always say cooking packs are unhealthy. Soon there won't even be cooking packs to eat. I pulled the cart back to the RV, placed the large and small bags of milk tea ingredients into the space in the fridge until it was packed full inside. Only then did I feel satisfied. This is my greatest joy at the moment. I went to the kitchen and took out the frying pan, opened the food package and poured it into heat. I thought for a moment. Tonight I decided to have another chilled watermelon. I took the watermelon I brought back this afternoon, cut it in half, put it in the fridge to chill. Wait until the chicken feet and crab package bubbles. I turned off the heat to let it simmer. I went to take a nice hot shower. After coming out of the bathroom, I stuffed the dirty clothes into the washing machine and dried my hair. Everything is done. Time to eat. I took out my phone and started a movie. It's an incredibly soothing countryside food movie. I used a spoon to eat a big piece of chilled watermelon. Cold and refreshing. Snow came over wanting to have a bite, pushed away by me. Watermelon is too cold, it hurts the stomach. Meal kits are all about technology. You can't eat. Snow walks with a tilted head. Feels like bullying a little kitten. Luckily, he just ate his fill. Find a corner of the sofa to curl up and sleep. Meal kits are not healthy, but they are delicious. Chicken feet are chewy. Crab meat is also very salty. In the quiet of the night, I eat while watching a movie. When I finish eating, wash the dishes and go to sleep. It's already past 1 a.m. I brush my teeth and get into bed, hug Snow and fall asleep immediately. Today was too tiring. Tomorrow I must sleep until the afternoon. It turned out the sky was just barely light. The alarm of the RV surveillance went off, woke me up from a deep sleep. I reached for my phone to check. It was just past 6 in the morning. Who is so blind to disturb my sleep? It better be something important. Otherwise, it won't end well for you. The panoramic cameras installed around the RV. If someone passes by, it won't trigger the alarm. Only if someone is around the RV, lingers for more than 5 minutes, or makes an aggressive move towards the RV, and the owner is asleep and doesn't notice. In that case, only then will the alarm sound. This RV, I initially installed quite a few smart electronic products, turned on the monitor to check. Wow! There was a dense circle of people around the RV. I have some impression of these people. They are the survivors from the supermarket yesterday. I turned over and got out of bed, opened the window on the car door, opened my mouth and cursed. Are you sick? What are you doing here early in the morning instead of sleeping? A group of aggressive people were stunned by my scolding, immediately got angry. You thief! How dare you scold us? Where did you move the supermarket supplies? You can't take all those supplies by yourself. You should leave some for us. How can you be so confident? I was about to curse. Realized something was wrong, coldly asked what was going on. The leading man shouted, stop pretending. Last night, all the supermarket supplies were stolen. It must have been you who stole them. You'd better spit it out. Otherwise, it won't end well for you. The supermarket is so big. Don't mention just one person. Even if 10 more people come, it's impossible in one night to move everything quietly. Unless there's a space ability user here. I got dressed and headed straight to the supermarket. A group of survivors hurriedly followed. With anger on their faces, there's a sense of I won't give. They drove desperately. The supermarket shelves were originally full. Now they're empty, not even a bag can be found. The entire supermarket was looted. Spotless. Except for a space ability user. No one else can do it. I really didn't expect it. Such a rare ability user encountered so early. And it's a spatial ability user. The apocalypse arrives. Zombies are everywhere, but ability users are extremely rare. The base I was in during my previous life. Among hundreds of thousands, only a few thousand had abilities. This shows how rare ability users are. Spatial mutation ability user is a treasure among ability users. Is the best helper for transporting supplies. I glanced around and looked at Zhang Kong. Where's the surveillance? Zhang Kong. Frightened. He quickly explained that there was a power outage last night, causing the lines to be unstable. So we didn't pay attention. As a result, this morning we discovered everything in the supermarket was gone. We removed the surveillance, found the surveillance line damaged, didn't capture footage after the power outage. Sure enough, someone cut the power to steal supermarket goods. This shows the other party has no combat ability, just a space ability user. Only when upgraded to intermediate or advanced level can evolve teleportation or space blade. Having combat ability, they just steal if they want to. After stealing, they blame him. That's asking for trouble. I asked again who said I stole. It was him, Zhang Kong. Without hesitation, pointed to the crowd. Inside was a young man. Lin Hao thought. He just needed to point suspicion towards the girl alone. They could perfectly hide. I observed the few people of Group O. What makes you say I stole the supplies? Do you have any evidence? I observed everyone's expressions. The others all looked angry and terrified. Only those four showed anger. But their eyes were calm. The space ability user must be among those four. Lin Hao was very uncomfortable being stared at by me, but at this moment, they absolutely can't show any flaws. If people find out they stole the supplies, there will definitely be no good outcome. So they can only insist that this girl stole the supplies. Lin Hao firmly said, "It was you who stole. Yesterday I saw you return to the supermarket to take supplies." I almost laughed out of anger. What a clumsy explanation. Truly giving them a chance to survive. They're useless. Then don't blame me for being rude. The survivors nearby heard this. So scared their eyes almost popped out. Already in, silently mourning for this young man. Why provoke anyone? Why provoke him? If this lady really wanted to take supplies from the supermarket, why would she need to steal? He could take them openly. Who could stop him? Moreover, how could he alone empty all the supplies in one night without making a sound? Sure enough, the next second, my figure quickly approached the four people. A loud sound. The sword in my hand had already slashed across Su Yuning's throat. Lin Hao was splattered with blood. He looked at Su Yuning in horror. Su Yuning covered her bleeding throat with both hands. Her mouth opened and closed. A large amount of fresh blood gushed out. Am I not the chosen girl? How could I die so easily? Lin Hao held Su Yuning and screamed. Yuning, don't leave me. You won't die. No, everyone in the supermarket saw the scene. Even though they were mentally prepared, they were still scared to the core. I told you not to provoke him, yet these people insisted on courting death. No one could stop them. Truly, he kills at the slightest disagreement. If he can kill, he won't waste a word. In Lin Hao's terrified eyes, Su Yuning unwillingly took his last breath. In an instant, the vanished supplies burst out from the void, piling up into a small mountain. Just now, Lin Hao unconsciously shielded that girl behind him. Made me discover the flaw. With this kind of mind, he still wants me to take the blame. Truly reckless. Return to the RV. I opened a frosty bottle of Coke, took a few gulps, instantly felt much more relaxed. As of now, this supermarket shelter can no longer be stayed in. Besides those hordes of zombies, the corpses will soon breed bacteria and various viruses. That kid Lin Hao, I also have to be cautious of. He definitely won't let me off easily. After thinking for a while, I opened the phone map to check. There is a farmer's market 10 kilometers away from the supermarket. This place is quite nice. I can just find some seeds to try cultivating. If successful, it can be put into the expansion space, develop into a farm. Snow, let's set off. Let's go right away. I start the car immediately. The car slowly leaves the mall. There aren't many zombies on the road. If any block the way, just speed up and hit them. 20 minutes later, following the navigation, I arrived at the farmer's market. But as soon as I entered the entrance, I felt something was off. Ahead, there were many cars parked densely along the road, crowdedly blocking the entire road. There must be an emergency at the farmer's market. Encountered a zombie outbreak. When I realized this, I immediately turned around to leave. However, it was too late. The sound of the car engine attracted attention of the zombies. In just a moment, zombies poured out from every corner, gathered densely around the RV. There were at least a few hundred. I drove the RV back a few meters, crushed dozens of zombies and then couldn't move anymore. The RV can be immune to all damage, but the power is limited. Facing the dense crowd of zombies, can't push out like a bulldozer. Zombies frantically pounded on the RV, baring teeth and glaring, eyes gray. Looked very terrifying. At this moment, I only felt my scalp tingling. It's over, it's over. It was T2-ite looking out the window. The fluffy fur made a hissing sound. I comforted T2-ite a bit. Held him in my arms. Things have come to this. Have an ice cream to calm down. Then turn on the screen to watch a comedy show. Anyway, zombies can't get into the RV. The commotion of the zombie horde attracted the attention of the survivors in the farmer's market. The 6th floor of a building. A man quietly poked his head out to observe. Then quietly retracted his head. DucHa sat on the ground and whispered. The zombie horde is heading towards the road. I don't know what's happening over there. The others in the room were all terrified. Didn't dare to make a sound. His mother spoke up. I just heard the sound of a vehicle. Why would anyone come at this time? The wife continued. Online, it says a rescue team has been formed. They are working hard to rescue the survivors. Could it be that the rescue team has arrived? DucHa lit a cigarette. With our current situation, the rescue team might end up getting stuck here. It's tough. Their family opened a farm tool shop on the 1st floor of the market. That day, DucHa was alone guiding customers in the shop. At noon, 12 o'clock, the customer choosing farm tools suddenly became rigid. Head twisted. Baring teeth, lunged at him. DucHa thought the other person had rabies. Terrified, he didn't think twice and rushed home. Only when he got home did he realize it was a zombie outbreak. Fortunately, the whole family survived. Inside the RV, I looked outside. The situation hasn't improved at all. I must find a way to save myself. If I wait for the rescue team to come, I don't know how long I'll have to wait. I can't afford to wait. There is indeed a lot of food stored in the RV. Enough to last for several years. But the problem is the fuel tank hasn't been expanded. The fuel storage is too little. If the RV doesn't turn on the air conditioning, inside will definitely be like a steamer. But if the air conditioning is on all day, the solar power on the roof definitely won't be enough. A gasoline generator is needed to supply power, but the fuel inside won't last for a few days. Now the only way out is to break out myself. Fortunately, I learned a lot in my past life. I set the air conditioning temperature to the lowest. Ensure all doors and windows are tightly closed. Then carry a few cans of cooking oil. Climb out through the window on the roof. The zombies smelled the rich aroma of fresh flesh and blood, becoming more and more agitated. Wishing they could grow wings to fly up and eat me, some are pushed down to the ground. Other zombies climb over the fallen ones. If this continues, the RV will eventually be submerged in the zombie horde. I stab the oil drum with a knife to use it. The oil immediately spills out. I grab the handle and throw the punctured oil drum forcefully, scattering it into the zombie horde. Then I ignite, throw the lighter out. Quickly crawl back into the RV and lower the roof. The fire blazes up instantly. Under the burning of the oil column, the fire grows stronger. The entire zombie horde is engulfed in flames. The screams of agony echo through the air. I looked through the window. The entire RV was engulfed in orange-red flames. The temperature of the vehicle body kept rising. I was extremely panicked inside. System, you said the RV is immune to all damage. You better not be tricking me. The tires better not melt. The battery better not explode. The air conditioner better not stop. If there's even a slight problem, the RV would turn into an oven. Half an hour later, everything inside the RV was normal. I was completely relieved. At this moment, the TV was broadcasting live news. The authorities were trying to reassure the public. Reduce panic, according to past life memories. This time, even the official army wasn't spared from the zombies. Heavy losses. Currently, the most effective rescue plan. Each city organizes its own personnel to clear out a safe base without zombies. And the bases are divided into two types. One type is official. The other type is private. Private bases are usually established by tycoons gathering people with special abilities, regardless of the type of base. In a situation of material scarcity, getting a bite to eat requires one's own effort. The big fire burned out only by night, but in some places, you can still see glowing embers. Probably too hot to touch. I decided to get a good night's sleep and go pick up gold at the river the next day. On the 4th, I woke up at dawn, confirmed there were no zombies around. I opened the car door and was greeted by a sky full of black ash and a strong smell of burning. The ground is densely covered with reefs. I put on the raincoat and mask I had prepared, grabbed the factory gear and prepared to go out. Mew the cat stared at me with big round eyes. He wanted to go with me. I patted his head. It's too dirty outside. Stay at home, otherwise, you'll get dirty and need a bath. A bath a day. Mew turned and left. What he hates most is bathing. The zombies in the fire were almost roasted to charcoal. Stepping on them makes a crunching sound. I walked towards the edge. Black dust followed my footsteps, floating in the air. Then I was like a diligent farmer, swinging at the zombies' heads one by one. Caesarean, there are thousands of zombies here. Surely can open the golden box. Just see how much it is. Always upstairs. The belly secretly observing upstairs is a bit restless. Should we go down to find Jin? I saw online that Jin might be very useful. Wife Chen Manning quickly shook her head. I'm not going. I'm afraid of getting infected. You guys shouldn't go either. Jin might not be needed, but we must go down to bring some food up. Announced online. The temperature is abnormally rising by 5 degrees Celsius daily. Waiting for the rescue team. Who knows how long it will take. Taking this opportunity to stockpile supplies is the most Everyone thought DuCha's words made a lot of sense, so they decided to take weapons downstairs to gather food and store water. After a busy morning, a total of 10 Jin were collected. Luck was quite good. I couldn't wait to get back to the RV, projecting the see-through image of the RV. At this moment, I was surprised to discover my small fish tank can also be expanded. I couldn't wait to use a gold coin to expand the space of the small fish tank. Congratulations on unlocking the fish pond. The time flow rate in the fish pond is normal. Reward: automatic water quality optimization and duration. Promoting the optimal ecological cycle of aquatic plants. The fish pond was filled with water. The bottom was covered with colorful stones. There were also some green aquatic plants floating in the water. I was shocked and widened my eyes. In a post-apocalyptic world with constant natural disasters, the importance of sustainable production is undeniable. Excitedly, I clicked on the plant pot expansion again. Enter quantity 1. Click confirm. Congratulations on unlocking the farm. The space flow rate of the farm is normal. Sunlight and nutrients, oxygen and other environmental factors are normal. The soil remains moist. In an instant, I suddenly found myself in a vast white space. Gentle sunlight was shining down from the sky. Beneath my feet was moist black soil. Only 1 square meter. Clearly, this is a unique space. Next to it, there is also a 1 square meter pool. It's the fish pond I just expanded. The fish pond and the farm have merged. This surprised me a lot. I tried to walk towards the edge, tentatively reached out to touch, but was blocked by an invisible wall. The system prompt sounded. The farm can only bring in items related to farming, and each square meter has a limit. Can only be used for farming. Water resources of the fish pond and farm soil. For use within the space only. Cannot be taken out from inside. I will use the remaining 8 gold coins, all to upgrade the sofa cabinet space. These 8 cubic meters are all for storing seeds. When there is a farm, resources for upgrading can be obtained. Nothing beats stockpiling seeds. Really can't bother with eating. I start the vehicle. Drive into the street of the farmer's market. The vehicle stops a bit further inside the street. The ground here is relatively clean. I pulled the handcart into a seed shop. The store is quite large. The goods inside are also very complete. Grain seeds, vegetable and fruit seeds, flower seeds, and some common medicinal herb seeds. I find some large boxes. No matter what seeds are on the shelf, take them all and load them onto the truck. Just like that, one truck after another. I tirelessly went back and forth transporting, until the space in the sofa cabinet was completely filled. Then I walked into a nearby agricultural tool shop. Chen Manning, who was always watching my movements, was so excited. Picked up some small hoes, sickles, and some small shovels. He's taking our family's farming tools. What a clever little thief. In broad daylight, stealing my things right in front of me. Du Zidao beside her couldn't help but laugh. It's just a few farming tools. They're not worth much. Besides, we haven't taken any less from others' homes. Back to the RV. I was exhausted. Plopped down on the sofa. Snow jumped up meowing. The big round eyes are very cute. I held it in my arms, gently stroking Snow, looking very content. At this moment, a rumble came from the sky. I quickly looked out the window. I saw a military helicopter flying overhead, flying very low. The wind from the rotor blades blew dust into the air. I frowned and muttered to myself. It seems the official base has started taking action. I need to quickly start the plan. The helicopter uses loud noise to attract zombies, luring the zombies to the outskirts to eliminate them. But the real challenge of this disaster is actually not the zombies, but the natural disaster. In the upcoming heat wave, the temperature will rise to over 60 degrees Celsius. Humans suffer from heat stroke. The hot-blooded disease line catches fire. Nationwide internet outage. Various large and small fires, burning large quantities of supplies. At this time, this is when humanity is truly pushed to the brink. And what I need to do now is to hunt more zombies before the heat arrives. Collect enough gold boxes to expand space. Stockpile supplies. How to quickly and efficiently hunt zombies becomes the most critical issue. Currently, my first plan is to modify the RV to create a zombie harvester with extreme destructive power. The system notification sound rings instantly. Pay 50 gold boxes to upgrade the RV with automatic gold box collection feature. 50 gold boxes. Are you a bandit? Wait, are you talking about automatic gold box collection? Honestly, I'm a bit tempted. If I could drive an RV and collect gold boxes automatically, that could significantly improve efficiency. But right now, There aren't that many gold boxes, so I had a sudden idea and told the system to lend me first. After installation, I'll use the collected gold boxes to slowly repay you. A moment later, the notification sound rang again. No problem. But interest will be charged. By then, both principal and interest will require 200 gold boxes. Hearing that, I angrily cursed in my heart. Dog system, you're really something. Humph. I gritted my teeth and said, 200 boxes then 200 boxes. Upgrade first, then we'll see. The system will complete the RV upgrade at night. At that time, it won't disturb the host's rest. Please rest assured, host. After the contract is fulfilled, I instantly felt much more relaxed, so I decided to take a look at the farm. DucHa entered here for the first time. He tiptoed to the edge of the fish pond, watching the fish swim back and forth inside. I picked up a small shovel and dug a small hole beside. I want on this piece of land to plant the tomatoes I love to eat. DucHa saw I was busy. He came over to help voluntarily. I threw 2 seeds. He immediately buried them with his paws. 1 person and 1 cat cooperated very well. In no time, the work was done. The soil has the right moisture for plants. I don't even need to water. After finishing these tasks, ready to go out and take a good bath, I picked up the dirty DucHa, who knew after returning to the RV. We are both clean, not a bit of soil. I immediately understood what was happening. The system said, the soil and water in the space cannot be taken out. That's why it's like this. This is also good. Saves the trouble of having to shower and change clothes every time after being busy. Everything is tidied up. I hugged Snow White and got into bed. Slept soundly. Early the next morning, I couldn't wait to run out of the RV. Checked the upgrade status. Only saw at the front bumper 2 rows of sharp blade rollers appeared. At the same time, the system prompt sounded. The start switch is in the cockpit. Essence and collection are under the central console. I went back to the car to check. Next to the vehicle start-stop switch. Sure enough, there's an extra red button. As I press my home's button, the blade roller in front of the car spins rapidly. It looks very terrifying. If you get caught in it, you'll definitely be torn to pieces. I can't wait to test its power. Speaking of where the most zombies are now, it must be the zombies at the official base, the unified slaughter ground. I just need to wait on the road to the slaughter ground. There will be endless zombies to kill. Start the vehicle. The car slowly leaves the farmer's market, just not far out. Zombies are already rushing towards the car following the sound. I let out a cold laugh. Immediately start the blade roller. The zombies are instantly sucked in. When coming out, it had already turned into a pile of mush. I couldn't contain my excitement. Driving this RV is simply amazing. I saw a gas station on the road. I turned the car in, ready to fill up both tanks. This gas station is self-service. Just scan the code to pay. At this time, helicopters continuously flew overhead. Judging by the direction, I can roughly determine the location of the footbrake field. After refueling, I immediately drove after them. Quickly got onto a highway. This highway has clearly been specially treated. There are no vehicles on the road. High wire fences are erected on both sides. Drove a little longer. Many low-flying helicopters appeared. And below, it's full of zombies. They lured the zombies here. Return to the city again. Continue to attract the next batch of helicopters. After leaving, a military vehicle with a cage will appear. The cage contains live animals. Zombies on the highway will be attracted by the flesh in the cage, guiding them to the corner arena. I dare not imagine how spectacular it will be inside the arena. I speed up. The blade rollers spin wildly, one after another. Zombies are ground into meat paste. Inside the helicopter above, the pilot sees the situation below. Are they stunned? It seems like there's a pink RV among the zombies. And it's modified. People hide when they see zombies. 80% come here to collect Jing. Should we report to the team? The main driver thought for a moment. Forget it. The team should have noticed already. No one went to stop it. Probably too lazy to care. There are too many zombies to kill them all. If he likes to kill, let him kill. But now not many people know the use of gold. This person is quite clever. Very likely to be a person with special abilities. The co-driver agreed. Now the base construction needs people with special abilities. When he leaves, someone will probably come to negotiate with him. To let him join the base, the helicopter circled the RV twice, then flew towards the city. In the RV, I drove continuously for 3 hours, feeling numb but didn't see the zombie parking lot. I turned the car around, stopped before the zombie tied with the spinning blade. Continue harvesting zombies. What surprised me was, inside the transparent box in the central armrest, there wasn't just a gold box. There were also many pieces of jewelry. I took the box out and poured it onto the coffee table. Counted the gold. There were 25 pieces in total. Before I could be happy, all the gold suddenly disappeared. The gold obtained by the host will be returned to the system first. Currently, 175 pieces remain. I can only accept it. If it weren't for the dog system helping me modify the RV, this wouldn't have been so easy. During that time, I didn't pay attention to it anymore. Taking snow with me, ate and drank to my fill, watched TV for a while, then went to sleep. The next morning, just as it was getting light, I went to check the gold collection situation. When I saw it was full of gold inside, I was both surprised and delighted. Immediately collapsed onto the table, started counting them one by one. Unexpectedly collected 71 jinn. Looking at it this way until tomorrow. Tomorrow morning I can pay off the jinn debt to the system. After that, everything I earn will be mine. In an instant, I felt completely energized. Immediately started the car and turned towards the zombie parking lot. Today's temperature is a few degrees higher than yesterday. The air conditioner needs to run 24 hours to regulate the temperature. Fortunately, there's a solar panel on the car roof. It can help alleviate my anxiety about the fuel tank. I was snacking while driving slowly on the highway. 4 hours later, zombie parking lot gradually appeared in my sight. I climbed onto the car roof to observe. This moment, I felt the shock from the heavy industry of a great nation. I only saw on the flat ground 3 cylindrical metal rollers appeared. Over 100 meters in size, thicker than a building. Its surface is smooth, reflecting the cold metallic light in the sunlight. At the connection of the 3 giant metal rollers, there is a larger circular power hub, driving the huge rollers to roll slowly in front of this giant object. Everything seems pathetically small. The dense horde of zombies were led to the central power hub, where the metal rollers passed. Zombies were crushed into mud. Behind the rollers, there is a conveyor belt that will transport the zombie remains away. If I'm not mistaken, it should be for sorting gold and alloys, truly worthy of being the official base, able to create in a short time. Such large and efficient equipment is unmatched by any private base. Back in DRV, I decided to stay here for a few days, collect more gold boxes, leave when the fuel tank is almost empty. The following life was very boring. Play games, pet the cat, eat when hungry, sleep when sleepy, ignoring the zombies howling outside, mainly relaxing and lying down until noon the next day. I not only paid off the 100 for gold coins owed, but also had 22 grams left. I decisively expanded a cubic meter of fish pond and 9 square meters of farm to increase sustainable yield. Get ready. By the 3rd day, the number of stars has reached 98, plus the 12 stars left from yesterday. I can now expand the space by 110 cubic meters. Just as I was dreaming of a bright future, the fuel gauge suddenly issued a warning. You don't know until you look. One look and you're startled. The fuel is almost depleted. I didn't expect the zombie harvester to consume so much fuel. I quickly started the car and left the highway, then navigated to the nearest gas station. Arrived at the gas station, I didn't rush to refuel. Instead, I first expanded the space for the 2 fuel tanks. Each tank was expanded by 30 cubic meters. In this way, with the full tank, the RV can run hundreds of thousands of kilometers without issue. No more fuel anxiety. Besides, the water tank also needs to be expanded. 30 pieces to expand the clean water tank, 20 pieces to expand the pure water tank. After filling both fuel tanks, I opened my phone for navigation, preparing to find the next destination. Suddenly, a helicopter came roaring from afar, hovering above my head. When it was still over 10 meters from the ground, several figures jumped out of the cabin. A few thuds. The ground was smashed into a big pit. These people walked towards me as if nothing happened. I became alert. My whole body stiffened. Could they be special ability users? In the apocalypse, ability users are considered at the top of the pyramid. Major bases are competing for them. But what do these meticulous ability users want from me? Hello, my name is John Hanyu. I am the official base construction manager. Detected that you might be a metal ability user. Specially invite you to join the Wenyan base. I'm confused. What did you say? I'm a metal ability user. You must be mistaken. John Hanyu doesn't believe it. The metal of the RV and house is reinforced to the point that a pile of zombies can't even make a dent. Even if not a meticulous ability user, you are still another type of ability user. Think about it. Feel free to state any conditions. If we can meet them, we definitely will. The problem is I'm really not, but I can't reveal the system's matters, so I can only put on a cold demeanor. Refused, saying not interested. You guys go ahead. John Hanyu saw my firm attitude, reluctantly took out a business card and handed it to me. It has my contact information and address. You can find me if you change your mind. I took the card and shook his hand symbolically. Then a few people turned into helicopters and left. But who knew the next second? I found my hand had turned into metal. It looked really cool. I was utterly shocked. Could it be that I'm really a metal superpower user? Why didn't I notice before? Thinking it over, I still couldn't figure it out. Whatever, Awakening a superpower is a good thing anyway. I got back in the car and opened the navigation. At this moment, I discovered there is a water plant not far from the gas station. This place is quite nice. Just enough to fill the newly expanded tank with water. Start the vehicle and set off. Inside the water plant, a 5-person rescue team, dispatched by the base, is advancing. This is their first mission. Since the team was formed, their goal is to safely transfer the survivors. Take the water purification equipment. There are zombies. Jin can quickly protect me. Meng Qingyu crouches in the corner, face pale, looking like a small white flower battered by wind and rain. The shouting quickly attracted the attention of the surrounding zombies. They bared their teeth and all rushed this way. The other 4 were so angry, they just wanted to curse. Even though they are all ability users, they all belong to the low-level abilities. Handling a dozen zombies is manageable. Now hundreds of zombies are rushing at once. They can't handle it at all. But a few people still can't abandon Meng Qingyu, because he is a rare spatial ability user. Later, they still have to rely on him. Collecting equipment not only darkened his face, even though it's cold, he can still throw ice arrows, but knocking down a group of zombies, the next group will immediately rush in. Endlessly. Can't kill them all. Dao Yulong next to him cursed loudly. Are you calling your mom? Are you tired of living? If you don't want to live, don't drag us along. We don't want to die. Gu Jinshin said nothing. He was also fed up with Meng Qingyu. Now it's all about life and death. Still dragging behind here. Really stupid. Meng Qingyu was furious after being scolded. Do you know who my dad is? How dare you talk to me like that? Once you're out, you won't have a good time. Besides, I have rare spatial abilities. It has been said above. You must not let me die, even if you die. After the zombie outbreak, Gu Jinshin awakened weapon abilities. Meng Qingyu awakened spatial abilities afterwards. Her father, Meng Hanyuan, relied on donating supplies to the official base. The position of logistics department head at the meeting, mainly responsible for coordinating the base's logistical resources. It can be said to be very influential within the seed base. After all, he manages the supplies. Ordinary people are very polite when they meet him. Dao Yurong gritted her teeth. So you really plan to let us die? Only if we die can you survive and get out. Meng Qingyu couldn't argue back, whining again, calling Gu Jinshin. Jinshin, look, he's bullying me. Aren't you going to say something? Gu Jinshin didn't want to pay attention to him, thinking to himself, what on earth did I marry? If it were the Dreamstone Bull, this definitely wouldn't have happened. Gu Jinshin suggested. We can't keep dragging this out. We must retreat. Otherwise, we'll really die here. Dao Yulong was fuming. Look at your lovely wife. Let him stand up and walk. If he keeps acting like this, I won't stay here waiting to die with him. Gu Jinshin asked Meng Qingyu. Can you stand up and walk? We can't stay here. Meng Qingyu whimpered. I was so scared my legs went weak. Couldn't stand up. If he can't stand, let him die here. Dao Yurong and 2 other teammates retreated quickly without looking back. Meng Qingyu saw this and stood up quickly. Do you really want me to die here? Gu Jinshin held back the urge to throw Meng Qingyu out, due to the impulse of the zombies, shouted, stop nagging, hurry up and follow me. Meng Qingyu saw that everyone really didn't care about him. His legs were no longer weak. He wasn't afraid anymore, closely followed behind Gu Jinshin. The 5 of them fought against the zombies, while heading towards the factory door. The breakout situation wasn't optimistic. Leiji released the last lightning bolt to Chenjiang Island. I am exhausted. We can only force our way out, and Juin is equally heavy-hearted. We don't have much ammunition. We'll run out soon. Then he seemed to think of something and asked Gu Jinshin. Meng Qingyu's space seems to be able to hide people, right? If we really can't break through, we can hide in Meng Qingyu's space first. Then think of another way. Before Gu Jinshin could speak, Meng Qingyu behind them said coldly, just now you didn't care and retreated on your own. And now you want to enter my space. Dream on, you 3 with cold faces. How did we end up with such a foolish teammate? What bad luck. Gu Jinshin said in a deep voice, Qingyu, we are teammates. They stayed here to protect you. You can't be like this. Meng Qingyu's tone softened. Alright, brother Jin Cheng spoke up. I reluctantly let them into the space. The base will settle accounts with them later. To protect you. Almost lost my life here. You still want to settle accounts with us? I'll damn well fight you. Dao Yurong pointed the pistol at Meng Qingyu. At this moment, a burst. The rumbling of machinery caught several people's attention. They looked towards the sound. Outside the factory, they saw slowly a pink RV approaching. The fast-spinning blade roller at the front of the RV, sweeping up one zombie after another. Dao Yurong quickly took out a flashlight, flashed it towards the RV, trying to get the driver's attention. Upon seeing the RV, Gu Jinshin's expression beside the plane became complex. The expression instantly became complex. Meng Qingyu was somewhat surprised and hostile. Meng Shiwan, he actually didn't die. Why did he come here? Inside the RV, I had already noticed the situation here. Initially, I didn't want to meddle in others' affairs, but seeing the zombies gathering together, I couldn't help but go harvest. I drove the RV to the factory entrance, drove straight into the zombie horde, stopped the car, quietly waiting for the blades and wheels to crush them. The zombies were almost cleared. The blocked people also gradually appeared before me. Gujinchin and Mengking, you are truly destined enemies. Thinking of what the two did in the past life, a surge of anger rose in my heart. Let King you see that Gujinchin's gaze was off. A punch landed on him. Why are you looking at him like that? Can't you let him go? Gujinkin can't stand it anymore. Have you had enough? You almost got us killed. If it weren't for Meng Shuan, we would all be dead here. Why can't you forget your ex-girlfriend? Now you think he's better than me in every way. When you were with me behind his back, it wasn't like this. Is it really that shocking? The three bystanders are already numb from listening. Didn't expect it to be such a big shock. Meng Qingyu pointed at the RV and cursed. Meng Shuan, it's the end of the world. How do you still have the face to follow Gujinkin everywhere? We've already registered our marriage. He's my husband now. You better not dwell on it anymore. Gujinkin feels very embarrassed at this moment. He went up to pull Meng Qingyu away. How long are you going to make a fuss? Meng Qingyu was furious. What kind of attitude is that? Are you speaking on his behalf? I'm stating the facts. He must have heard about you. Came here deliberately to find you. Who doesn't know Meng Shuan loves you desperately? At the same time, I got off the RV with my belongings. Walked towards Meng Qingyu. The next second, I swung my fist hard at his face. Meng Qingyu flew 2 meters away. Heavily hit the ground. Eyes full of shock and disbelief. A cold smile tugged at the corner of my mouth. The metallic glow on my right hand slowly faded. The 3 onlookers were all shocked. A person with fine abilities. He is actually a person with fine abilities. Then the 3 of them looked very pleased. It's so refreshing. Finally, someone can deal with that hateful woman. Gujinkin glanced at the head swollen like a pig's. Meng Qingyu was already unconscious. His eyes were full of indifference. Then he walked up to me with a face full of affection. For 10 nights, Meng Qingyu and I were just in a business marriage. The person I have always liked is you. If it were before the apocalypse, his insincere words would surely have made me so happy that I couldn't sleep for days. But now hearing it just makes me want to vomit. I aimed at Gujinkin's head and fiercely swung the bow in my hand over. A bang sound. Gujinkin was instantly stunned. Wobbled and couldn't stand firm. My face was cold. My eyes filled with murderous intent stared at the two. You shameless couple, see if I don't kill you today. Gujinkin felt a chill in his heart. Immediately felt something was wrong. He instinctively used his arm to block. Instantly got a big cut. The weapon drew again. But Meng Qingyu suddenly lunged. Activating space could also make Gujinkin disappear instantly. I put away the weapon with regret. Such a good opportunity and they got away. At the same time, I discovered again that my body seemed a bit unusual. This feeling, exactly like when awakening the fine abilities. I tentatively tried the next second. The weapon in my hand disappeared instantly. My eyes lit up. Immediately activated my mind to probe. The location of the factory appeared again. Then I activated my thoughts again. Attempted to take an ice cream cone from the fridge space. The next second, the ice cream cone actually appeared in my hand. Spatial ability. I can hardly believe it. I actually awakened spatial ability and connected to the internal space of the RV. So in the future, when collecting supplies, no need to transport them 1 car at a time. Just activate the ability to store them in space. Leiji almost thought he was seeing things. Spatial ability. Isn't he supposed to have precision ability? Dual ability user. Even rarer than spatial ability. Dual ability user. Has not appeared in the base yet. Dao Yurong shouted in shock. On the other side, after pondering for a moment, I activated my thoughts again. Sure enough, a grain of ice formed in my palm. Sword Soldier System Ability. He is a 3 system ability user. The 3 onlookers beside were shocked stiff. Thinking to myself, today I've met an extraordinary big shot. The next moment, I suddenly appeared in front of Dao Yurong. Smiling, I asked the beauty, what is your ability? Dao Yurong was flattered and surprised. Quickly replied, sister, I am a wood system ability user. I extended my hand, very pleased to meet you. Dao Yurong hurriedly clasped her hands in excitement. I'm also very pleased to meet the big shot. Are you really a 3 system ability user? I smiled without speaking. I took out an ice cream and handed it to him because it was hot. Cool down. Dao Yurong quickly thanked the boss. Then I looked at Anjuan next to me, reached out and smiled, asking, what about you? Handsome guy. And Juan immediately reached out and shook hands excitedly. Sis, I don't eat ice cream. Dao Yurong gave him a slap. Who asked if you eat ice cream? Sis is asking what your ability is. Oh, I'm a puxy ability. and Jiwon looked very embarrassed. I handed out a bottle of cold Coke. If it's hot and you don't need ice cream, drink some happy water, and Jiwon quickly took it. Again theft, again cold demon. Leiji is very clever. Whenever I asked, he stepped forward and held my hand. Boss, my name is Leiji. I am Leishi, a bad guy point. Nodded to the three, filial piety. I'm a bit short-tempered. I hope everyone keeps today's matter a secret. Dao Yurong quickly assured the boss to rest easy. We only saw Menkingyu and Gujinkan's matter. We know nothing about the rest. The strength of a 3-ability person plus decisive action is very striking at the moment. This woman in the apocalypse will surely achieve great things. The three of Dao Yurong immediately expressed to the boss. Is there any plan next? If there's a place that needs workers, be sure to remember us. We are willing to follow the boss. I responded with a sound, then walked into the water plant. Watching my departing back, the three murmured, 3 system abilities. Really makes people envious. Hope the boss will need us in the future. At this moment, I looked at the lightning flashing in my palm. I sneered and said I'm not a 3 absorption ability. Now I am a 6 absorption ability user. And the ability that truly belongs to me is actually the ability to copy. As long as there is contact with the other party, I can copy the other's ability as my own. I carefully checked around the pool to ensure the water source here is clean, not contaminated by zombies. I put my hand into the pool, activated my thoughts. The clean water tank and pure water tank instantly filled up. Then I slightly moved my thoughts, and the next moment appeared in the RV. Trading Snow was startled to see me suddenly appear, with a little confused head, clearly unable to understand what happened. I went to the driver's seat, opened the gold box to collect the box, counted a total of 12 pieces. I decisively upgraded all the clean water tanks, already at the water plant. Must stock up on more water before leaving. Then I wanted to use my mind to return to the factory, to fill the newly expanded 12 cubic meter space. Found out it wasn't possible. Seems like I can only return to the RV from outside. Can't go from the RV to the outside. Helplessly, I could only walk back. The 3 people still guarding the spot saw me coming out of the RV. Very surprised. Wow, the boss has learned to teleport. Really amazing, seeing the 3 still there. I asked, why are you still here? Dao Yurong hurriedly explained. We are waiting for Menkingyu and Gujinkan. Hearing that, I raised an eyebrow and said, they will come out from here. Yes, Menkingyu can't teleport. Wherever they go in, they must come out from there. We wait for them to come out. We still have to continue the mission. Oh, I immediately showed a surprised expression. Said to the 3 people. Aren't you looking for survivors? You go ahead. I'll help you keep watch here. I sat on the step beside, eating sunflower seeds and playing on my phone. About more than an hour passed. The couple finally came out of the space. I acted quickly. Swung the blade towards their throats. But who knew Menkingyu reacted quite fast. Instantly activated the ability. The 2 disappeared again. And so we waited until evening. Neither of them came out of the space again. It's not a solution to keep dealing with these 2 cowards. The outdoor temperature is now approaching 50 degrees. It's completely uninhabitable. Wait for the next opportunity to kill them. I got up and walked towards the RV. Back to the RV. I took a cold shower first. Changed into cooler clothes. The weather will get hotter and hotter. I don't want to go out anymore. Decided to find a place to lie down. 20 minutes later, I parked the RV steadily on the highway. The blade roller endlessly harvested zombies. Then I took Trading Snow into the farm. Wanted to test the wood-based abilities. Trading Snow really liked this place. Was overjoyed as soon as we entered. Running around everywhere. Wood-based abilities can control plants. It can also catalyze plant growth. I squatted on the ground, trying to use my mind on the tomato seeds. The ability within my body slowly released. Under the catalysis of wood-based abilities, the tomato seeds grow rapidly. In the blink of an eye, they grew to about 10 centimeters, until the ability within me was exhausted. The tomatoes also stopped growing. I frowned. According to my understanding of my past life, ability levels are divided into 10 levels. The higher, the stronger. I might be between level 1 and 2 now. Too weak, if I stimulate the growth of the entire farm. I'm afraid it would only make them sprout. But in my past life, there were rumors that the base was researching a powerful ability-enhancing liquid. This liquid can awaken abilities in ordinary people who drink it. Ability users who drink it can enhance their ability level. After thinking for a while, I asked the system, do you know about the ability enhancement liquid? Ability enhancement liquid requires 100 essence units for 1 vial. Ability replenishment liquid requires 50 essence units for 1 vial. The ability replenishment liquid is used when abilities are depleted. It can quickly replenish and restore abilities. Both are good things. In the previous life's 3-year apocalypse, the base never figured it out. Yet the system here has it for sale. If this news gets out, it's estimated that all ability users would go crazy for it. But speaking of which, this is too expensive. At most, Collecting reasonably now would only yield 20 to 30 grams. I was thinking of negotiating the price with the system, but before I could speak, the system's urgent alert sound went off. The RV is locked on for attack. It might tip over in the next explosion. Do you want to spend all the energy cores for protection? After realizing the attack lock, I quickly looked out the window. I saw in the darkness a helicopter hovering above the RV. A man standing at the boarding door, fiddling with a large explosive package. In my heart, I immediately shouted to the system that I agreed. I agree, energy cores can be accumulated again. If the RV tips over, it would be troublesome. The next second, a large explosive package fell from the sky. Flames and thick smoke completely engulfed the RV. Even the surrounding zombies were blown away, followed by 2 loud explosions. A huge flame erupted on the highway, accompanied by billowing thick smoke. Inside the helicopter, the man standing at the boarding door sneered. Such a small building. Do we really have to kill? The organization made such a big deal. It's like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. The killing organization is an official base. A small faction inside, searching for supplies, refusing to kill zombies, considered a positive organization. But if someone wants to kill them, as long as the price is right, they will help too. The driver couldn't do anything else. The other side offered too much. They said as long as we deal with the person named Meng, the person named Xiao, they will give us a small granary. Who can refuse that? Kill early. Report back early. Rest assured. A slight touch. A fine psychic. Definitely can't withstand the power of those explosives. The driver smiled. That's fine. You record a short on-site video. We'll go back to cross-check. The man took out his phone and aimed it downward. Suddenly frowned. The more he looked, the more something felt off. On the potholed highway, the RV was parked steadily there. Even the glass wasn't broken. Impossible. Even if he reinforced the RV, it couldn't withstand this amount of explosives. The man was full of disbelief. The next second, a woman was lying on the front windshield. Flipped her the middle finger. The man was so angry his face turned pale. Immediately picked up the dynamite pack, preparing for a new round of bombing. In the RV, I shouted at the system, "System, are there weapons for sale?" The system's voice sounded, "Yes, but you don't have a crystal box. Give me a more powerful weapon. I want to take down that helicopter. The crystal box will be owed first. We'll repay double later. Weapon store is open. Please choose by yourself. The gold river will be deducted automatically later." Instantly a virtual screen appeared. There are all kinds of weapons on it, like an arms dealer. From small pistols to grenades, medium to planes and tanks, large to missiles and nuclear bombs. Made me dizzy. Finally, after screening, I picked an RPG priced at 150 pounds of core, smart tracking rocket launcher. I immediately grabbed the RPG and climbed onto the RV. After locking the target, I pressed the button. With a whoosh, the rocket flew rapidly towards the helicopter. The dangerous driver reacted quickly, immediately controlled the direction to turn the body. However, it was completely meaningless because I used the most advanced, smart tracking rocket launcher. Then a loud explosion in the sky. The helicopter exploded instantly, like brilliant fireworks lighting up a piece of land. Back inside the RV, I carefully reviewed what happened today. During the day, I just beat up the cheating couple. At night, someone came to take my life. No need to think to know who did it. I can't wait to head to the base right now to kill those 2 bastards. But thinking about still owing the system 300 gold boxes, I have to endure for a few days. Wait until I pay off the gold boxes, then buy a bottle of ability enhancement liquid to try. Then go to the base for revenge. The rooftop of the factory in the suburban area of the base is decorated very luxuriously. This is the headquarters of the Shalama organization. At this moment, lying on the sofa eating fresh food, drinking red wine, is the founder of the Shalama organization, Yafeng. At this moment, a man hurriedly ran in. "Boss, there's news. Killed." Yafeng took a sip of red wine, very much enjoying. The man fearfully replied, "Boss, he was counter-killed." Yafeng's hand, while drinking red wine, trembled. The red wine poured into the nasal cavity.